So this is for you, Sarah. It's called If I Didn't Have You.
Yeah, yeah, if I didn't have you. Yeah. If I didn't have you to hold me tight. If I didn't have you to lie with at night. If I didn't have you to share my sighs and to kiss me and dry my tears when I cry, you were lying. Really think that I would have somebody else? If I didn't have you, someone else would do. Your love is one in a million. You couldn't buy it at any price. But of the 9,999,000 of the possible loves, statistically some of them would be equally nice. Or maybe not as nice, but say smarter than you. Or dumber but better at sport. Or fucking tracing. I'm just saying I probably have somebody else. Yes. If I didn't have you, someone else would do. If I were a rich man, diddle 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 dee, I guess I would be with a surgeon or a model or a rally of the Royals or a Kennedy or an infomaniacal exhibitionist heiress to a large chain of hotels. If I were a rich man, maybe I would fiddle, fiddle, diddle, diddle with the rich man girls. I'm not saying that I'd not love you if I was wealthy or handsome, but realistically there's lots of fish in the sea, and if I had a different rod I would conceivably land some. Even though I am fiscally consistently pitiable and considerably less Brad Pitt than Brad Pitiful, am I really so poor and ugly that you think only you could possibly love me? And I probably have somebody else. If I didn't have you, someone else would do. I'm not undervaluing what we've got when I say that given the role chaos inevitably plays in the inherently flawed notion of fate, it's abstruse to deduce I found my soulmate at the age of 17. It's just mathematically unlikely that at a university in Perth I happen to stumble on the one girl on earth specifically designed for me. And if I may conjecture a further objection, love has nothing to do with destined perfection. The connection is strengthened, the affection simply grows over time, like a flower or a mushroom or a guinea pig or a vine or a sponge or bigotry or a banana. And love is made more powerful by the ongoing drama of shared experience and the synergy of a kind of symbiotic empathy or something. So I trust it goes without saying that I would feel really very sad if tomorrow you were to fall off something high or catch something bad. But I'm just saying, I don't think you're special. I mean, I think you're special, but you fall within a bell curve. I mean, I'm just saying, probably have somebody else. I think you are unique and beautiful. You make me happy despite being around. But objectively, you would have to agree that, baby, when I found you, options were relatively thin on the ground. You're lovely, but there must be girls as lovely as you and maybe more open to spanking or fucking table tennis. I'm just saying, probably have somebody else. I mean, I reckon it's pretty likely that if, for example, my first girlfriend Jackie hadn't dumped me after I kissed Winston's ex-girlfriend Nia at Steph's party back in 1993, enough variables would probably have been altered by the absence of that event to have meant the advent of a tangential narrative in which we don't meet, which is to say there exists a theoretical, hypothetical, parallel life where what is not as it is, and I'm not your husband and you are not my wife, and I am a stuntman living in LA, married to a small blonde Portuguese skier who, when she's not training, does abstract painting, practices yoga and brews her own beer, and really likes making home movies and suffers neck down alopecia. But with all my heart and all my mind, I know one thing is true. I have just one life and just one love, and my love, that love is you. And if it wasn't for you, darling, you possibly have somebody else. Someone else and Charlie do the motherfucker, yeah. if you're a religious person, might want to pop out for about 5 minutes. This is a song about anal sex and God. It's called 10-Foot Cock and a Few Hundred Virgins. So you're gonna live in paradise with a 10-foot cock and a few hundred virgins. So you're gonna live in paradise with a 10-foot cock and a few hundred virgins. So you're gonna sacrifice your life for a ride on a UFO. And when the Lord comes down in his shimmering chariot of salvation, you're gonna be the first to know. Oh. And so if God was there from the very beginning, he invented men and women, then he also invented wanking. Then he said wanking was sinning. So now if I'm feeling randy, I'm not allowed to hand shandy, but having sex with my family, that is just fucking great. It's all there in Ezekiel 8, just before he opens up his big pearly gate and says that it's a sin to take it up to date, even if it's great, even with your cowboy mate. So you're gonna live in paradise with a 10-foot cock and a few hundred virgins. So you're gonna sacrifice your life for a shot at the greener grass. And when the Lord comes down with his shiny rod of judgment, he's gonna kick my heathen ass. Oh. So if you cover the bodies of your women, everybody is grinning because black is so slim. And though it's not great for swimming, but it gives you an erection with the increased sexual tension. What with the UV protection, that is second to none. You'll find it all in the Quran, just next to the bit that justifies guns and says that it's a sin to take it up the bum, even if it's fun, even with permission from your mum. So you're gonna live in paradise with a 10-foot cock and a few hundred virgins. So you're gonna sacrifice your life for a shot at eternity. And when the Lord comes down and I haven't done my penance, he's gonna disembowel me. Oh, you say that if I stumbled on a watch, I'd assume it had a watchmaker, that a muffin presupposes a baker. So he must agree sooner or later that this proves there's a creator. So if I put my foot in a stinker, you'd assume the existence of a sphincter. Thus you don't need to be a great thinker to conclude that God's a bum, which negates the words of Genesis 1, which make him out to be so much fun, until Adam succumbed to temptation, and then his only son got nailed to a gum, or the Middle Eastern equivalent, which suggests that God's omniscience is nullified by his ambivalence, unless it turns out that he's impotent, and if God can't get a boner, I guess that explains the plethora of huge erections in his honor, because we all know a steeple's just a subconscious compensatory manifestation of a huge stiff penis, and still he tells us that it's heinous to stick a penis up your anus, even if you're famous, even if you're good at tennis. So you're gonna live in paradise, the temple cock and a few hundred virgins. So you're gonna sacrifice your life for a ride on a UFO. And when the Lord comes down with his big, stiff, slippery rod of judgment, oh, I'm gonna be the first to go. He's gonna send me down below. He's gonna whip me like a hoe. Do you really think so? I'm gonna be the first to go.